Greetings and salutation, boys and girls. This is Tommy Danielson with the FGU. I'm joined by Jamie. Did you just have a haircut?
I did. Good
Congratulations. Looks like you had a French designer take care of that specific cut that you had there. Or did you go in the bathroom for 30 seconds?
It's called the number one, and it cost me $30.
Well, at least it wasn't the number two, right? I guess that's a good thing. Yeah. All right, so we got some news this morning about the category changes for the various Hyatt hotels for the year, and this happens every year. And took a quick glance about it. What was there anything that kind of stood out? Let's just go straight into the list instead of dilly dallying here. Let us see. Here we go. So if we start at the top. The U.S., the changes were mostly in the U.S., I've noticed. So if we start here in California, we've got some of them going down. We see the Tommy Hollywood. Have you stayed there?
I have not, but the rate there is always very relatively cheap, which I guess explains why it's going down to a 3. It's not usually expensive.
Yeah, like a couple $100, a little bit less than a couple $100. The Wild Palms Hotel, I have never heard of it, but it goes from a category 2 to a category 1. Do we know anything about that place?
I have no idea. Let's see where it is.
We are also seeing, while you look that up, we see the NorCal hotels are going down from a 4 to a 3.
Sunnyvale, California. I have no idea where that is.
Where is it?
Sunnyvale?
Sunnyvale. That's, you don't want to go there. Okay. It's like
it's a little bit to the left of Santa Clara, so it looks like it's down the road from that other Hyatt, sort of.
Oh, got it. Okay, so it's like in the Bay Area. All right. Yeah, you can see that Belmont, Redwood Shores. You see the Oakland one. Oakland is kind of a little bit of a mess right now. Santa Cruz Hyatt Place, which is right on the coast. That's actually not a bad gig. It's now can be used as a 4. The Hyatt Centric in Fisherman's Wharf goes from a 5 to a 4, which is a passable hotel. The breakfast is really nice at that place. Not the best location in San Francisco, but fair enough. The Hyatt Carmel Highlands goes from a 7 to a 6. That's a little bit of a surprise. So wait a minute. So the Carmel Highlands, that's the one that we all like, the one that's got the view of the ocean, right?
Correct. I think so.
Let me double check that because it is that one. It's not called that. It's called the Hyatt. Yeah. Okay. So the Hyatt Highlands is the new name of it. That's good news to me. That's that you get it for $25,000. It used to be, it's very seasonal in the winter. That place can be had for like $200-$300, but in the summer it's $600-$700. So that's a good deal for all things considered. And the Encinitas Alila is going from an 8 to a 7. Which makes a little bit of sense to me. So it was like very highly priced at what it was, and we can see now that the prices are starting to come down. Then the ones who are going up in California, the La Jolla place, that's usually like a $90 place, right? The Hyatt Regency Mission Bay also is very low priced as well. So yeah, and for the poor guys, I'm not a big fan of the Hyatt. We've talked about the Manchester Grand Hyatt in San Diego. That's not a 1 through 4 category property anymore. I don't like that place at all. You like it?
I've heard. Good club. I don't know recently. I don't think I've stayed there since COVID, but it used to have a good club.
We were there for the show. I think weren't we there after? I don't remember. I remember the last time I stayed there. The club was in the opposite tower, which is about 15 miles to walk. You got to take the elevator down. You got to go over. Then you got to go up. They got the stupid resort fees. And I haven't been lucky with upgrades there because I've always been there for a busy time. But that's kind of it. So looking at the DC has gotten a little bit of a slaughter.
Mm-hmm. You missed Denver on there. Looks like a few places in Denver went up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Grand Hyatt Denver and the one by the convention center. They're both walkable within each other. You can still use them for a category 1 through 4, right? So I guess that's okay, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, it's not really I have no reference frame of reference of what we're talking about here. The Vail residence that at Cascade Village is going to an 8. Do you know anything about that property?
I know nothing about that.
Right. I think Kevin Song was talking about it in our Hyatt chat group. Yeah. Moving on to DC. Yeah, you pretty much all of the hotels are going up, and we've seen quite some hike in prices in DC in the last year. So I think that this move is not really that bad. I mean, have we been able to find the Grand Hyatt? What's the best rate at the Grand Hyatt right now, which is the one we typically stay at?
That rate tends to be 200-ish, maybe 3. I don't know. I don't know that it justifies a 5. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but I could see it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that the Hyatt Regency Washington, that one is definitely a stretch.
That's a dump. Yeah, that hotel's a dump.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I stayed there once, and it's a big fat no for me. Like I said, the Thompson is a way out if you're okay taking the Metro 2 stops.
Yeah.
It's not inconvenient to me. I like the quiet down there on the pier. The hotel is solid. They're really good with upgrades, and the breakfast is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is untouched, and it's still that's still a Category 4, right? I think so.
It is. Yep.
Right. So that would be the tip in Washington, D.C. And on the Park Hyatt, I just don't like it. There's always some sort of a customer service fail at that place. The last time we were there, we ordered room service for like $150 and it never showed up. It was like we called 3 times and we gave up and went out to dinner instead. It's the weirdest thing ever. And it was just, I feel like that. So you had the Blue Duck Tavern. It was just, I don't know. It's a good breakfast, but it's a little bit heavy on the heavier side.
It's heavy. Upgrades are good there, at least.
Yeah, definitely good. All right, moving on to Florida. Everything goes up, but I would say it's only insignificant hotels that are moving.
Yeah,
the 4 Hyatt places, and the Hyatt Regency Coral Gables goes from a 3 to a 4. I'm not familiar with. I don't go to Florida since I don't live in Chicago anymore. We used to go to Florida a lot because, for this time of year, it's kind of difficult in Chicago. But since we now live in California, it's not a biggie. We don't do it. And neither of these hotels on the list are somewhere I would consider staying. Just cookie cutter Hyatt places plus the Hyatt Regency Coral Gables. Are you familiar with that place?
I have not stayed there. No.
There you go. All right. So Hyatt places in Georgia are the only ones who are changing. Not a big deal. Hyatt Place in Waikiki. Have you ever stayed there? And also the Hyatt Centric Waikiki.
Well, here's the problem: that both of those places play games with the award availability anyway. So good luck using your 1 through 4 anyway, because it requires a 3-night minimum stay. But that Centric, that is not worth a 5, especially.
No, I think that place is dumpy, and also it doesn't have a pool. It has a fake pool. It's like it goes up to your ankles.
It's a kiddie pool, yeah.
Right. So yeah. Okay. Looking at Chicago, I feel like Chicago shouldn't move at all. Chicago has been very, very inexpensive through the winter and hasn't really moved. It's still fairly easy. Am I right to get I was there in November and I stayed for like $100 somewhere. I don't remember where I stayed, but getting a cheap
Thompson is disappointing. To go from a 4 to 5, that place is never overpriced. I mean, it's great with upgrades, good breakfast there.
Right.
I don't know. 5 doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know.
I thought the Thompson's I thought I stayed there was like 160.
Yeah, it's very reasonable. Even in peak season, it's like 200 something. It's not bad at all.
All right. Hyatt Place, Fort Wayne, Indiana, which nobody goes to. Kansas, Hyatt Places, Boston. What are your thoughts on Boston? Okay, what are the 2 properties here?
That Centric at Faneuil Hall is not worth a 6. No way. It's barely worth a 5 in my opinion. So that's a stretch. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, with that, the other one going to a 5, the other one going to a 6, I don't think there is anywhere now downtown to use a cert. I think the Regency is a 5, if I'm not mistaken. The other Regency. Yeah,
I don't know what the other Regency is, but moving down to Nevada. So you see the Hyatt Regency, the one on Lake Tahoe, the one that's on the lake, is moving down from a 6 to a 5, which I think it makes more sense for that place. What else? New York, we've got the Grayson. You stayed there, and that's going from a 5 to a 6. Do you think that's worth it?
Again, no way. The rates there, 2, maybe 300. No way that's a 6.
All right. And then we've got the North Carolina, a bunch of Hyatt House and Hyatt Places, and then the Carolina Inn. I've never heard of that place.
Don't know.
No. All right. Oklahoma, Hyatt Regency Tulsa from a 1 to a 2. Nobody cares. Oregon, the Hyatt Centric downtown goes from a 3 to a 2. And so that both of the Oregon Portland hotels go down from a 3 to a 2. Right. So that's some decent value up in Portland if you want to go there. And then you've got the Pennsylvania, nobody cares. And then we have Texas at the end, which Texas is now getting a ton of category 1s, 2 to 1. The Woodlands goes from a 4 to 5. The Lost Pines from a 5 to a 6. That's the Point Sky hotels. Everybody there loves to go there. I think Summer likes to go there, right?
Which one?
The Lost Pines Resort. Never mind. Hyatt Centric Park City. Wow. 7 to 8. That is crazy. That sounds to me like it's a little bit crazy. And then the Hyatt Regency Dulles, which was a really nice category 1, is now
not a chance. Is that a 2?
I don't think I've ever paid more than $70 at that.
I know
hotel.
that's why I'm wondering, but whatever.
And the Crystal City goes from a 2 to a 3, which I also think it should be in the same category. That's a 3. I think is kind of crazy.
I could maybe see that one going up because the rates there I've looked for a bunch of people has gone up over the years, but still, I don't know.
All right, the wet dream of the Elila in Oman on the coast. I really wanted to visit that place. That area of the country is supposed to be beautiful. It is now a category 6 a category 7, rather, which makes it a little bit disappointing. To me, it's just I feel like there are some good deals and there's also a massive effort to get there. So, but it's supposed to be awesome. And the Park Hyatt in Zanzibar and Tanzania goes up from a 5 to a 6. Nobody cares what happens in Turkey, but there's a little bit of movement. That the Park Hyatt in Istanbul is worth the category 6 is the funniest thing. We have the Capital Gate, which a lot of people redeem to save money in Abu Dhabi. It now goes from a 2 to a 3. I don't think that area is nice. It's like close to the airport or closer to the airport. Moving over to a bunch of places in China and India. I'm just going to leap over those. They're all coming down. So China, 2 to 1, 2 to 1, 2 to 1. We're all seeing a downward trend for everything in China. India has a little bit of an uptick from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3. We go to in Bali, the Andaz from 4 to 5, the Elila Ubud from 2 to 3, and Uluwatu from 7 to 8. That's not in Bali. That's a villa situation. I've never heard of it. I got to look into more of this stuff. Looking into Japan, we've got the Kanazawa Hyatt House is a category 2, which makes sense. The Hyatt Place Kyoto is a good deal. That can be very expensive at times. So I think that going down, the Centric and Kanazawa goes to 3 from a 4. The Hyatt Regency Tokyo Bay, which is the Disney adjacent one, goes down to a 3. A good place to stay if you're going to Disney. The Naha Okinawa Hotel, which was surprisingly good. Melinda and I stayed there in 2019. I was going on a meeting in Taiwan, and we stopped there on the way for a few days, and it was actually very nice. I liked it, and really nice club lounge and lots of good offerings. So that's definitely a good value. The Grand Hyatt in Tokyo is in, I think, in that area. Pardon?
That's not worth a 7.
I saw that Kevin commented on that. I don't know. I honestly don't know because Tokyo has been really crazy expensive lately. And it seems like it's not come down to the Roppongi is beautiful. I like Roppongi. I think that's the best area to stay in, to be honest with you. I don't see who's commenting here for some reason. I see all the comments rolling by, but I don't see which channel it comes from because this is on various channels on YouTube and various channels on YouTube and Facebook and other stuff. So, but I think it all comes down to value, right? Of what it costs to pay for it. But let's take a look at. Let's get back to that one. Park Hyatt Auckland is a 6. You were just there. What do you think of that?
Beautiful hotel. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, is it the only Hyatt in Auckland? I may be wrong about that.
Well, in all of New Zealand, right?
No, there's one in Christchurch, I think. Isn't it like a Joy de Vivre or something.
Really?
Anyway,
I thought you were in Christchurch. I thought you stayed somewhere else there.
that was Wellington, and that was.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. And you got some Thailand one, the Hyatt Regency, the Warna old one, which is good with upgrades. It's very good service and a nice club. Goes from 2 to 3, and in Vietnam it goes from 3 to 4.
5 to 6. I'm staying there in May. I guess I'll report back in May, but.
In Singapore, the Andos in Singapore, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That's also a little bit of a jump. You booked at the old rate, right?
Correct. This doesn't take effect for another month.
Right. So it's definitely time to book now if you want to look at it. Okay, so let's take a peek at Europe. And the Hyatt Regency in Bulgaria, in Sofia, is... I'm not sure about that, but it goes from a 1 to a 2. And the hotel is like, you think that they made a mistake here and put first name Bordeaux. It's actually the name of the hotel. It's like bottom text or somebody forgot to fill in the blanks. That's what it's called. It goes from a 5 to a 4. I've heard good things about that place. If you go into Bordeaux, it's a good option. The 2 house place by the airport in Paris goes from a 1 to a 2. Paris itself is untouched at all. You know, they had some big increases last year with the Vendôme going up to an 8 and the others going up to a 7. The Madeleine and the what's the other one called? It doesn't matter. And then the Étoile one, I think, also is a 5 now or so. It's way overpriced. And Paris now is starting to come down. It is starting to come down in price. It's not as nuts as it used to be. The Hyatt Regency in Nice. Wow, that is a dumpy hotel. That's definitely not a.
It's location. That's the only reason.
Yeah, it's the location is great, but you also have the Le Méridien, which I think is like 40,000 or 50,000 Marriott points. They're equally bad, but they're also both on the front there, right? The Hotel du Palace is, I mean, it was a good deal at a 7 for sure. It is a very, very nice hotel and enjoyable. Then we see some of the first Lindner. I see that in Austria, there has been no changes. But in Germany, we see the Lindner hotels in the one on Kudamm in Germany, in Berlin, and in Köln, in Cologne, the 2 hotels go from a 1 to a 2. Besides that, it looks like all of the Lindner hotels are staying in the categories they were up. There is some good value. We were at the Lindner Hotel in Belvedere. We had an extra couple of nights we needed, Melinda and I, and it was 3,500 points per night. And it is just a really, really good value with a cash rate of close to 180. So look out for that. The breakfast is great. The rooms are a little bit tired, but you can't beat the value there versus, the 25,000. Then we've got Magma Resort in Santorini. Have you heard about that?
I have not.
And I just made a review of the Hyatt Centric in Venice that goes from a 3 to a 4, reinforcing how much I hate that hotel to stay there, to be honest with you. It's such a pain in the ass. On paper, it sounds like such a good idea. I had to pay for multiple rooms out of pocket myself personally, so that's why I cheaped in. I would never stay there. I saw that Joe Petrovic, he was going to Venice with his dad in May. So Joe is in the award wallet group on Facebook, and he's staying at a Choice Hotel, which is a Tribute. No, not Tribute. It's called something else. Close to, it's by the casino, like right on the Grand Canal, which is the Choice Redemption, as you know, is a kind of a hidden gem for Europe. So I would say anywhere, it's the Hyatt Centric going up from a 3 to a 4 in Murano is,
I believe they do not include the boat now to Venice. It is only
that has been the case for since after the pandemic. It hasn't been included for 2 years.
Got it. Okay.
So here's what you get. They will pick you up at the airport and take you to, but bear in mind, that cost €8 is how much that cost. and it is pretty much nonstop. The only thing, you have to walk a few blocks because the Ali Laguna stops at the end of the block there. The reason why I know that, because we were literally just there, and we have a review coming up on this on the YouTube FTU YouTube channel about that. The way, if you want to get into Venice now, you buy the $25, I think it is, or €25 pass per day. Melinda, was it €25 per day? I think it was €25 per day, and then you can use the boat system unlimited. She nods. Yes, it's €25, but it'll take you an hour to get to San Marco. You know, it'll take you to get across, and then you can either hop off at the hospital or the first stop across the lagoon, or you can take it all the way to San Marco. It's about the same, 50 minutes to an hour. It's each way. So I was just like, now they're raising the price? I don't think so. I'm going to say a big fat no on that. And what else do we have? Thompson Madrid has been very popular. A lot of people have redeemed for that, and it is pretty pricey as well. I've heard good things about it. Have you stayed there?
No, but I've heard good things.
Right. Seen a lot of good reviews. It is now a category 6. The question is that leap worth it? Because now it is in the same category as the Park Hyatt Vienna, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised that one didn't move up. That's a good.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that to move up for like 5 years. Such a great hotel. Hyatt Place, London Heathrow goes from a 1 to a 2. I stayed there 2 weeks ago, and I paid £68. So it seems like a jump. And that was a standard rate. The best rate was a member rate. I bought it the day of, and that's what I got. And for the Hyatt Place London City East, it's actually not a terrible location. You can easily get into town. But, I mean, wow, it's 10,000 less than the Churchill, and the Churchill is so awesome. So I don't know. That's pretty much the story.
The Churchill didn't move up. I'm surprised that new one that what is it? The
Blackfriar.
Yeah, Blackfriar, and there's that other one, the Sherlock Holmes.
It's starting to cool down in London right now. I mean, the Churchill, when I stayed there, I just came back from 2.5 weeks in Europe, and I stayed there at the Churchill and it was £280.
Oh, that's not bad.
And the Blackfriars was a little bit less than that. So, but in this, the thing with London is it varies a lot, right? In January, February, yeah, you're going to find good rates, of course, like that's anywhere. But in the middle of summer, not so much. When we are there for the Loyalty Summit in June, we're at the Churchill, is the host hotel there. It is like 400. So much better than last year when it was 600-700, but it's coming down. So I'm not surprised about that. Wanted to check and see what the rate is for the we want to see in Tokyo what the story is for. We're not going to sign on. Let's going to do Tokyo. All right. So if we do the cheapest Sunday to Tuesday is usually the ticket. I don't know when the yeah, there you go. 151,000 yen. What is that? Like $1,100? Like that 150. It's more than that. 150. 1,000 yen.
It is
$dollars. It's $1,000, $999. So so it's more expensive. Must be some sort of an event there going on or whatever. Let's try it like the week before, just Sunday to Monday, to see what the realistic rate is. 93,000.
Yeah,
so still $600-700. I think that when Kevin is saying that being a 7 is unrealistic, hotels in Tokyo have been kind of expensive lately. So, and which was the other one we were going to look at? Andaz in Auckland.
Park Hyatt.
Yeah, Auckland. Let's see. I'll do the same thing here. 854 New Zealand dollars. Let's try it a little bit down the line and see, because it's summer there now.
Do it in the low sea. Yeah, do it in June or something.
Sunday to Monday, it's always the lowest price stuff that we have. 542 New Zealand dollars, and that's
334 or about.
yeah, so 354. Yeah, so that is a questionable change, I think.
But it is, I will say, it is dirt cheap there. I mean, I had room service a few nights. It was like $10. I mean, dinner in the restaurant was super cheap. So I'm not saying it's worth it, but once you're there, it's at least relatively cheap.
I like the location. I mean, that's where the Westin used to be. There was a Westin there before, and it was down there on the docks. And I like the location. So yeah. But in conclusion, I would say that there's not much to get up in a hissy about here, right? Should we agree on that? That it's the DC area took a little bit of a hit, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I just went into the FAQs here. It says 137 hotels went up, 46 went down. So there's obviously a clear shift with things going up.
Yeah, out of like 1,500 hotels. I mean, at the end of the day, I saw a bunch of lists of Hyatt places and a lot of places that I didn't want to stay at to begin with.
Right.
So I feel like at the end of the day, it's the ones that has an impact on me, which I would say is minimal, and I would say the same for you, right?
Yeah, relatively.
Yeah, so not that dramatic. I will venture into saying that we've seen a lot worse from slaughters and things, and that's pretty much the story. And give me 10 minutes, Jamie. We'll log on that other call. And thanks everybody for joining and going through the list. And thank you all for commenting and for supporting the FTU. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.
See you.